In this video, we're going to go over this week's options watch list. Before I get into the video, if you're not in the room, you can find the link in the description of the video and in my bio section of social media accounts. Also, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm looking at the put to call ratio right now. It is at, let's see, gotta update it, 0.58. It's really nothing spectacular. The economic calendar for the week, let's see, it is, let's see, where are we? What is Monday? The 16th. Okay, 17th. I'm gonna update my calendar. There we go. 8:30 Monday, we have Empire State Manufacturing Index at 8:30. Tuesday, 8:30 core retail sales and retail sales. Then we get some Fed speakers at 10 and 1. Wednesday, don't see anything. Well, Wednesday's a bank holiday, so the market's closed. It's June 10th, I think. Thursday, so yeah, we have a show week. No market's closed Wednesday. Thursday, I just forgot about that. Thursday, unemployment claims at 8:30. Fed speaker at 3:30. Friday, we have flash manufacturing PMI and flash services PMI. So really not too much going on this week. Like I said, get Monday and Tuesday trading, Wednesday off, Thursday, Friday trading. Not much far as on the economic calendar except for retail sales and Fed speakers here and there. So nothing too spectacular. The watch list, nothing really to look at too much. VIX is still pretty low. It did pop a little bit on Friday. It's 1266. Like I've been saying in the recap videos and the watch list, it does not like staying under 12. It gets under 12, it gets over right immediately the next day, or sometimes almost immediately. So bounce. And so maybe it bounced here. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. I mean, we did get above 13. This might be enough of a bounce. We could end up seeing this kind of a scenario where it bounced on one day, dropped back down to 12, then it bounced a little bigger. I mean, we could see the same thing here. We could, VIX could drop back to 12, low 12s or under 12. Then Tuesday it could pop. VIX could pop. So it's going to be very iffy. But the lower it is, if VIX is at 12, I'm not really looking for calls, because calls is just too dangerous and VIX is too low, because we're going to get a rug pull. You can't be blind to the fact of what VIX is doing. If you're buying call when VIX is under 12, you need to really think about what you're doing, because that's not a good plan. And anyone that tells you to buy calls when the VIX is this low doesn't really know what they're doing. They need to really pay attention to the VIX. So right now, VIX too low. VIX has a habit of like gapping up. Even when SPY does gap down, VIX will gap up. I mean, when SPY gaps up, VIX will still gap up with it. It's crazy how VIX can just gap up with or without SPY. And then if it gaps up, it usually gets sold off. So definitely keep an eye on it gapping up to like 13 pre-market, and SPY ended up taking off and VIX getting crushed to 12 again. So that has been a scenario that's been playing a lot lately, the last few weeks. So definitely keep an eye on that. All-time high for SPY is 544. We've had come close a couple times. Well, there's 544. We got 543, 40-ish, and 543-ish. So I mean, it could be flagging right here, and we could take off to 545 or even 550. Now, if VIX does gap up tomorrow, we could end up seeing SPY making a run for it and then crushing VIX. So 550 is so close. I mean, at this point, you might as well just run it to 550. But look at the RSI, It's over at 73 on the daily. Get a bearish divergence on the weekly. You get the price going up as RSI is going down, histograms going down. You got multiple factors, and you get a bearish divergence on the histogram, not the RSI, but on the histogram you do. So you get divergences going everywhere, but just because there's a divergence does not mean it's going to drop immediately. I mean, it takes time. We've seen divergences with Baidu and Roku take weeks, months to play out. SPY, just like I said earlier in the video, it likes to gap VIX up in the morning so it can run and crush VIX during the day. I mean, that's a scenario that's been playing out a lot lately. Or if it doesn't do that, that sometimes they'll drop SPY just a little bit, like 50 cents to $1 to get VIX to go more, and VIX will just pop like a lot on that small drop, and that will give SPY more room to run and VIX to fall. So gotta be careful. Those are two scenarios that come up a lot, especially in a strong bullish market. Even though, I mean, the market's a strong bullish market, but the economic data behind it is not. It's all fake, and it's a smoke screen, so it's all bullshit. At some point, it's going to catch up, and then everything's going to come crashing down. But until then, the game is VIX likes to gap up, so it sells off during the day so SPY can run, or SPY will drop a little bit in midday, and VIX will pop, and SPY will end up running. So you just got to keep an eye on that. So I would watch it, like I said, over 544 for run to probably for 545, 550. If not, I'll watch it under 540. If it's under 540, we get gap fills down here to 536 and get some gaps down here. But we were going to need something pretty significant for SPY to drop down to the under 510 again. So got some gaps there to fill. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it fills this gap. And it does drop and fill this gap, then we get this 525 area. That's a pretty big area, in 530. So SPY kind of like we'll just play it day by day, and I'll make the call in the morning what I'm looking for. But VIX is going to be the major factor all week long. What VIX does is how I'm going to make my decision. Apple had a monster run this past week. Got red day on Thursday and Friday. It does appear to be a flag a little bit, but it's way outside the Keltner channel. It does not like being out the Keltner channel. It's so bizarre that it came up here and almost tested this line from back. I have to pull this back probably 5 years maybe. You get this trend line right here, and it reacts as resistance right here. It's crazy how this trend line even came up. I didn't think it would ever go up to 220, but it did. So with that said, I mean, it's flagging here. It could definitely shoot up to 220, but I'd be watching more under Friday's low of 211 or even 210 for it to come back down to 200, retest 200, get inside the Keltner channel again. It does not like staying outside the Keltner channel. It gets outside like right here, and it comes crashing in. Outside, it comes in. Outside, it comes in. So it's no reason to think it won't happen again. So definitely keep an eye on that. Microsoft is another one. It's at the top of the Keltner channel on the weekly, and the RSI is down, so you get a bearish divergence on the weekly on multiple indicators, RSI, histogram, and stochastics, and I get a bit of a divergence going on. Same thing with histogram right here, but not on RSI like with SPY. So definitely keep an eye on that. I mean, this could go to 450 too. We're so close to 450. I mean, if it gets over 443, it's probably going to shoot to 450. But if it doesn't, I'd watch it under 440 for it to come back down to 430, 425, and 420 on Microsoft. So Microsoft, have to keep an eye on that. Disney is another one I'm kind of like looking at a little bit. It's under 100. When it gets under 100, it usually bounces. I mean, obviously this is a different scenario down here, but the last time it got under 100, well, it came close to 100, it bounced a little bit, and it did fill the gap from over here. Let's see, it did fill the gap. It is kind of making a lower low right here by a little bit, and RSI is making higher lows. So that's showing there's a bullish divergence going on here. So I would watch Disney over 100 for push to basically 105 or even 110 on Disney. So definitely something to look for on Disney. I don't really like playing Disney that much because it doesn't move that much. But for those that do like to play it, it's definitely something to keep an eye on. Home Depot, I mean, it did have a gap up right here. You can watch for a gap fill underneath 342 to 335, but I'm more interested if it gets over this 350 level that we could end up seeing a nice little gap fill up here to 360. So Home Depot is setting up pretty good. So over 350, 355 to 360 on Home Depot, that could end up being a good play for the upside on Home Depot. Meta, you know, I'm not quite sure how I feel about Meta. I definitely would not be looking at the long side. Kind of get a head and shoulders. You get the left, you get the head, and you get the right shoulder right here. Kind of a bigger right shoulder, and you could say the neckline is right around this 460 area. So it's pretty far away from where the price is right now. But I mean, RCT trend line's right here. It's all going to depend on the what the market's doing. So if the market's dropping, Facebook's got some room to drop. It's underneath 501 to 490, 480. You got a gap filled down here at the 480 area, and you get 475, 470, 460. I mean, it's got some room to drop, especially to this 480 area. So Meta, I mean, you could look at the long side, but I wouldn't. I mean, I'd only be interested in the short side on Meta. So Netflix is the last one. Netflix is, I can't believe, all the way up here, almost the all-time high again. It just seems kind of crazy that it's up here. Bearish divergence going on the weekly. Price is going higher. RSI is lower. Histogram's lower. MACD's lower. Same thing with histogram on the daily. So you get some bearish divergence going on Netflix. So definitely keep an eye on that. I mean, it can go to 700. I mean, it gets over Friday's high of 675. We're probably going to go to 680, 700 pretty quickly, and then it will probably double top, then probably reject on that. So that's a possibility, but I'd also watch it underneath, let's say 665. We're pushed to 660 down to basically every $10, 660, 650, 640 on that. So Netflix, a lot of bearish divergences going on, so a lot to look at. Short week, like I said, so you got to be in the room. We're going to take it one day at a time because who knows what's going to happen. So that's going to do it, and thanks for watching.